Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Peter and Sel here from Strong Healthy Women. Welcome to Talking Wellbeing TV, where we share hints, tips, and advice about the foundations of wellbeing, which are move, eat, and live. And today we want to talk a little bit about live and the two activities that have scientific research behind them that take away that overwhelm and chaos that you may be having in your life and help you find that little bit of peace and calm and direction that you might be looking for. So drum roll, those two activities are meditation and journaling. Now, before you roll your eyes at me and think, oh my God, I've tried that before, I can't do that, that's too much foo-foo, woo-woo typey stuff, but let's just break it down for you. So, Sel, you and I were talking a little bit earlier about how, a lot of people think that, particularly with meditation, you do some funny little noises. What are those noises that you were talking about?
Om, 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 om.
So you can do
around you, yeah. Lots of cushions in the yard, and yes.
Which, for me personally, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of umming and ahhing and whatnot, but that's me. But what we want to do today is like take out that, that really left field type stuff that you might be thinking that it is and bring it back down to something that's really, really practical. So one of the things that I know you use, Sel, is breathing. And it's not just breathing that you sit and do nothing. It's breathing when you get into certain situations. So do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So, and I started this when we went into lockdown, and you'd go to the supermarket and, it's just crazy in there. And I would just stop. Big deep breaths in and exhale.
Yep.
And I would just do that for maybe a minute. Sometimes it could just be big 10 inhale, exhale. And it's amazing how just that little thing just calms you down and you're just back to zen.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we can go and get the toilet paper.
If you can find it on the shelves.
If you can find it, yeah.
So what you were finding there was you were feeling overwhelmed by people crowding you. Was that what was happening? And
Crowding,
just
rushing,
the craziness of it.
Yeah. Rushing, sort of ignoring that social distancing in some situations, sort of getting out of the way of people, but then people are still coming into your space. So it was, okay, I just need to calm down and focus back on myself, and we can get this done.
Yeah. And deep breathing is one of the really fundamental areas of meditation. And so if you wanted to simply start with meditation, that is the ideal place to start. So simply by taking a nice deep inhale. Now, there's different ways that you can breathe. You can breathe in through your nose, or you can breathe in through your mouth, and you can do it the reverse way. You can do what they call box breathing. There's all sorts of ways to do it. But what you want to do is combine it with a count. So you might do a count of, let's say, 4 as you inhale through your nose. And then what you might do is a count of 6 out through your mouth, so that you really get this nice long breath coming out. And by counting with it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what you're doing is you are focused on what's going on with your breath, which means those crazy little thoughts that we might be having all of the time, they're not so much there. And so what you're doing there is you're finding a still place, a resting place for your mind to go to, simply by doing that breathing. Let's talk about the second thing that happens once you start that breathing. You do find that you start to feel calmer. You feel a lot more centered. The distractions that you might have noticed are not so much there. And then what you start to do is you start to become aware of your body. So your body starts to relax, your nervous system starts to relax. And that's what brings on that calmness, that way that you're feeling. From there, what happens is you might start to notice sensations. So you could have, for example, little images coming in and out of your brain type of thing, or you could just simply feel like a little bit of tingling in your fingers or down through your body. Or what you could be doing is noticing a little niggle that you may have not noticed before. So what it does is it really gives you that mind, body, spirit connection. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It can certainly be, as Sel said, you're in a chaotic situation and all you do is just stand still, just take that deep inhale, exhale out, and just do that until you start to feel that calmness. So you start to feel that body awareness happening, and then it enables you to keep moving forward in whatever situation you happen to be in. Is there anything else you want to add into that, Sel?
Yeah. I like to imagine that when I'm in that situation, I'm coming back to that breathing, that I'm bringing all those little bits and pieces of myself back. So I'm coming back to center myself and bringing all my energy, all my good energy back into me, rather than it being all out here and I'm just pulling it all back in.
Yeah, like guided meditations are really wonderful things to do, because it does give you something to focus on. It does give you that visual as well too. So, but you know, if you are someone who's thinking this is like just way out there, then what I would ask you to do is just simply start with that breathing aspect of it and see how you feel. But it's like anything that we start in life. If we want to make it something that becomes a normal practice, we need to do it each and every day. So 10 to 15 minutes of that meditation, that sitting state, what it does is it's been proven to really, really help our life, our mental state, our body. There are so many aspects that we can really benefit from.
And it can be one of those things that you can attach. I know we will get into this a little bit further down the track, but it can be one of those things when you're first starting out that it can be attached to a routine that you might have already of a morning. So if you're going out on the front patio and you're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, it could be something that you attach to that for, you know, a minute to start out with, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and just recenter, listen to nature, and focus on your breathing.
Yeah, totally. So what happened last night is in our Insiders, which is our VIP group, we do masterclasses every month, and our masterclass this month was a combination of meditation and journaling, and it was called I Turn Inward for Answers. And so we started off by just explaining what meditation and journaling was all about and what it does for the mind, body, spirit. And then from there, we went into doing a guided meditation. And then at the end of that, it guided us into a journaling exercise. So I personally love to combine meditation and journaling. So I will allocate, 20 minutes to half an hour at the outside. for it. But as I said, you can choose one or the other. You can bring them together. But if it's something that you've always wanted to try, just start with the breathing aspect. But from a journaling perspective, it was, so I was doing this with the ladies, and so I had, because it's a habit of mine that I do, I had got through the writing, the things that had come to me during the journaling, and so I was just watching the faces as everybody was writing. They were writing down, and I could see the level of concentration of what thoughts were coming into their minds. I could see women smiling over things that they were writing. I could see those, pondering the wonders of the universe, and I could see that deep connection with themselves. So it was actually really uplifting from my perspective to actually sit and watch the faces of what was happening. So journaling, look, I love to have a good book. I don't have one here, but I do like to have a nice book, and she's going to get one. So I do love to have a nice book to write in. I do like to have a special pen that I allocate to my journaling, because I think it's such a special thing that I do. Oh, here's Cells. That's a pretty book.
It is a pretty book. It was given to me for my 50th birthday, so a journal book for my 50th birthday. So yeah, got something special.
That's lovely. Yes, so and I do go through a lot of pens as well too, so I have to keep finding these new special pens all the time. So, but what you want to do is just start by writing whatever your thoughts are. So evenings are a great time to journal, because it gives you that opportunity to dump out of your head anything that's going on. And if you dump it on a piece of paper, then it actually means that you're not going to take it to bed with you. So it's not going to disrupt your sleep patterns, which is, really, really important that we get that quality sleep, because it not only means that we feel more energized the next day, but it helps our body restore, slows down the aging process. So, there's lots of things that happen if we can get a good night's sleep. So with that starting point, as I said, you could write anything in there. It really doesn't matter, because it's yours. Don't worry about anybody else reading it. It could just simply be an account of what's happened during the course of the day. But if I could make one suggestion with it, that suggestion would be to always finish it on a positive note. So something that made you smile, something that put a smile on your face, something that was positive about the day, because that's the last thought that you're going to go to bed with. So, and no matter how bad the day is, there will be something positive there. So you just need to go looking for it. So do you want to add anything before I keep going there?
With Julie last night, it was interesting because she was saying that she wasn't sure what to write, and she ended up writing 2 pages worth in her journal.
Yeah.
But I always, another thing that I always finish when I finish my journaling is my last line that I write is that I'm grateful and I'm blessed. And I go to bed feeling really good, because I'm blessed with what I have, and I'm grateful for what I have.
Yeah. Yes, I have some little I ams that I finish with.
Yes. And they're wonderful, because with those thoughts, you're going to bed with those thoughts, and it's a positivity boost, and I think it will come out in your everyday life, in that you'll start believing your I am statements.
Yeah, you definitely do. Like, one of the things that I have suggested to the ladies who are in the Insiders again this week, I wanted to keep it really, really simple, because sometimes what happens is when you're trying to eat healthy and exercise and keep your mind in the right space, it can become very daunting because you've got so many things going on. And so what I said to them is, when you're writing in your journal, just write down what you had for breakfast and just, tally up how many whole foods you had. And so over the day, so, it's nothing that's complicated as far as, I've got to plan my menu and I've got to, follow certain things and I can't have this and I can't have that. It's just write it down. Whatever you eat, whatever you drink, write it in there. And then what you do is you go and you count up, how many whole foods did I have today? Now, it doesn't matter whether that was nuts, seeds, anything from animals. So as long as it's come from nature in itself, then it's a whole food. And it's really surprising what this can do, because I know that for me personally, it's one of the techniques that I've used. And when I find myself getting off track, I bring myself back into that process, because it's such a simple thing to do. It's just like, okay, I had eggs, I had spinach, I had this, I had that. Okay, so that's, a total of 3 whole foods. And over the day, I might get to 13 or I might get to 15. So, if you're looking to actually start a new healthy eating program, then your journal and that particular process would be a perfect way for you to start.
Yes. And if you're writing a food diary, if you're using a food app to track your food, combining the two, perfect.
Yeah, I personally have tried food apps, and like, seriously, that's just, it's too much hard work for me. Yeah. I always come back down. I have to have a simple process. If the process is complicated and requires too much work, I'm not going to do it. And, and I'm pretty diligent at doing things. So if I can't do it, I would say that there are probably a lot like me who can't do it either. So, and who wants to be doing that for any amount of time? I know I was talking to some of the guys that work at, what are they called? The Online Fitness Academy or Fitness Education. And he was saying exactly the same thing. He can only do an app for a week. That's it.
Yeah.
He's out of there by that stage. And look, if in that week you achieve what you want to achieve, perfect. Just perfect. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So back to the journaling. Look, I try and always aim for about 3 pages, but that's where you want to get to, that you're really putting in a little bit of extra effort to write down your thoughts. So if you can't get to that, just don't worry about it. Just write whatever you can write. Now, do you have some structure about what you do, Sal?
I've only started journaling maybe the past 12 months, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, the past 12 months. So once again, and this is what we just spoke about earlier, was attaching it to a habit. So my last habit of the night is brushing my teeth. So to start off with, my journal was in the bathroom. So it reminded me, once I've brushed my teeth, I'll go into my room and I'll write in my journal. And now it's just habit to write in my journal at nighttime before I go to bed.
Yeah. Look, I personally love a wind down process, and that is meditation into journaling. I do a little bit of yoga before that as well too. Sometimes I'll even break out into a few exercises, who knows. So it's just, it depends on how I'm feeling, whether I've eaten that little bit later and whether I feel like my digestive system is a little bit sluggish. So, but, if you are just starting out, whatever the last thing is that you do of an evening, whether it be brush your teeth, whether it's go to the toilet, whether it's turn off the lamp, it doesn't, put the journal there so it's a reminder to actually do it. So what the research has shown is that people who journal have more direction in their life, they're calmer. So it's very similar to the meditation aspect of it. So if you are someone who does feel that little bit anxious, then, you know, a combination of meditation and journaling is just absolutely a perfect way to getting your life, you know, back on track and feeling that little bit more centered and feeling like you're you. Because I know what happens is when we are feeling overwhelmed, we feel distanced from ourselves, and what we want to do is feel close to ourselves. We want to feel nurtured.
Yes, yes. And especially this time of year with everything that's happening. You know, we're coming up to Christmas. Some people may not be able to see their families at Christmas time, so we could be feeling that little bit of anxiety. And so by journaling and getting it down in your book, I can guarantee you'll feel better once you've done it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I know for two of the girls who were working with us last night, they both said the same thing, that they become too involved in their families' lives and trying to fix everything. So what came through to them was that this is what they were trying to do, whereas what they want to do is, they said, you know, to find that time and to step back and to allow themselves the opportunity to focus on themselves and what they can do to support the other people, rather than saying, here's the solution, this is what you need to do, or to take it on board.
Yes.
And I know that we can do that a lot as parents.
Yes, we're nurturers,
and grandparents.
And we need to make everyone feel good, feel loved, feel cared for. We want to help, take the burden off other people.
Yeah, we do.
Even if it's detrimental to ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, so any final thoughts on it, Sal?
Just start with your breathing, and as I said earlier, attach it to whatever. If you do have a morning habit with your journaling, you have that evening, last thing you do at night time, attach it. I guarantee it works, ladies. I did it with brushing my teeth.
Yeah, that's all about habit changes and everything like that. So yeah, and it's called habit stacking. Yeah, definitely. So what I would suggest, ladies, is just taking that opportunity. You don't have to do it of an evening. If when you have the best time available to you is in the middle of the day, then that's when you're going to do it. So just start by doing a few minutes of gentle breathing, big deep breaths in, big exhales out, and then just writing something in a journal about how you're feeling. And that's how you get started. Just try and do it each and every day so that you develop that habit of doing it, and you will find that you are much calmer and have more direction in life. So thanks for joining me today, Sel.
Thank you for having me, as always, Peter. Thank you for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for being here with us, ladies. Take care, everybody, and we will be back on Friday. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sal.
Bye, Peter.